Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider? And I'll like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from a throwaway account, and it says, I'm 26 male, wheelchair bound, and my girlfriend, 25 female, brought me to the casino for my birthday. She's demanding half of my winnings. What do I do? I was in a motorcycle accident last year and still wheelchair bound. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be out of it. My girlfriend of 6 years for my birthday brought me to a casino as I've never went before, and being unable to drive meant I needed a way to get there. She has an alleged distaste for gambling, so she wanted nothing of it. Just drop me off. I met a couple of friends and spent a couple of hours doing slots. I ended up leaving with around 3,500 Canadian dollars, more than I came in with. I told my girlfriend and she flat out said I needed to give her half because she drove me, and since we've been together for so long, it should be a 50-50 split in any case. I wanted to use these to pay off the final remainder of my school loans with some leftovers to treat her for a nice dinner and maybe a new piece of furniture. The short of it is she refused to pick me up and we had a huge fight. It's been a few hours now and it hasn't really calmed down. She's not home. I own the house completely and won't respond to texts. On one hand, I feel guilty she got so angry, but I also think it's pretty stupid and telling of her character. I think I'm done. I'm not in the wrong, right? We don't share our finances and in most respects, she's more well off than I. I inherited this house but otherwise work. My girlfriend gets a trust every month and ultimately makes more than I do. Thanks to everyone for their advice. Whenever we get stories like this, and Opie said that they've been together for 6 years, I think, is this the only behavior like this that you've seen in the past? Because that is absolutely wild. I mean, the sort of gift in itself was a bit strange to me. Unless I've missed something, maybe there's some context and the friends have arranged this in the background, but Opie said that she brought him to the casino even though she has a distaste for gambling and wanted nothing of it, and just dropped Opie off there. I mean, wouldn't she have thought of them doing something together? I don't know, that one had me scratching my head. But yeah, red flags all over that she wants 50-50 of what you just won. I mean, would she have paid for any money that you lost, seeing as it was 50-50, right? I'm just wondering what additional behavior there's been in these past 6 years, because surely that can't be it. But a commenter says to OP, you're absolutely not obligated to put up with this. She isn't owed anything, nor does she deserve it in any sense of the word. But now, can one of your friends pick you up and take you home? What about your family? Do you live together with your girlfriend in your house? Sleep Addict replied to that saying the other thing, it was for his birthday, yet she left to hang out with friends. My wife and I each do things we don't want to do to hang out with each other. If she wants to go to the ballet for her birthday or I want to go to a game, we do those together. I think it says a lot about their couple. But it wasn't too long after this that OP came in with an update and says, thanks for all the advice, folks. I never anticipated this getting any traction. I've broken up with her for her behavior. I can't keep myself in this kind of situation. She took it rather calm, but to be honest, I didn't give much room for a rebuttal or anything. She's making arrangements to move out. We relatively recently started cohabiting, so it's not a huge blow as it could have been. Since it came up a few times, no, I never really relied on her considering my state. I still paid my bills and etc. My income never really changed beyond 4 or so weeks I had to take off for physiotherapy. Thankfully, I worked sitting down and my own employment wasn't affected. I never needed constant help either. Sometimes I ask for assistance, but maybe once a week or so, and of nothing major. Her family comes from a big family of people in the oil industry here in Alberta. Her father and mother are both engineers and made a pretty penny before they retired. My ex-girlfriend never needs to work in her life, except I guess for self-fulfillment or boredom. She gets around $4,000 a month, not counting her car, phone, etc. is paid for. Half of $3,500 is pretty much nothing to her. She could ring up her parent and have it in 10 minutes, no questions asked if she wanted to. And me saying this is not me saying she's spoiled rotten or anything. She's pretty conservative with her spending. Over half of what she makes is saved or invested. It's not spending spree 2000 every day, and she lives rather mundane. And she did strand me. Thankfully, I had other transportation available from a buddy who stayed with me after all this went down. I don't think of her as a bad person, just very conceited and oblivious to how the world really works. I still love her, but it's a rather big shock moment where I realize our ideals don't really align and it just won't work out. It's going to take me some time, but I'm sure I'll be better off for it. Commenter says to OP after that, even if you wouldn't break up with her over the money thing, the whole thing leaving you stranded thing, I'd be out. JB209 says, dude, that is crazy. After 6 years, you just get blindsided by something like this. You haven't mentioned other signs, but man, this is weird. I'm sorry. I know your feelings are probably more complicated than what you're written. Take some time to enjoy shit you love and roll your ass back to a casino because you got a lucky thumb. Pun intended. And a lot of people pointing out maybe there was something going on in the background, there were signs before this. Other people just saying that they think that she just was looking to pick a fight because she wanted out and make OP look like the bad guy. A lot of people also saying that glad that OP saw the real her before they got any further into the relationship in terms of marriage, kids, or anything like that. But what do you guys make of this situation? I can't believe the cheek of it. Can you imagine saying that to your partner? They go to the casino, they come back after winning some money, and you're like, well, where's my half? The bloody plonker. But what do you guys make of this one? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Original Entry 7871 and says, am I the arsehole for not wanting my boyfriend to factor my son's survivor benefits into our new household budget? My 38 female, son 15 male, receives $1,100 a month in Social Security survivor benefits from his late father, who passed away when my son was 5. My boyfriend, 40 male, and I have been in an on-again, off-again relationship for a long time. Things have been good recently, and he's proposed. We're planning on getting a house together. I have my son, and he has 3 children, but only one of his kids would be living with us full time. The house we are looking at is $2,500 a month. My boyfriend's proposed budget is for him to pay $950, for me to pay $950, and for us to use $600 from my son's check for the household. He suggests we can then put the remaining $500 from the check into savings. My current practice is to give my son half of his check, $550 for his personal use, and save the other half for him. I think that since he's almost 17, he should have some control over his money. My boyfriend disagrees completely. He thinks that since we are going to be a family, all the money should be pulled together for shared expenses. He thinks I'm wrong and selfish for not wanting to include the survivor benefits in the main budget. We've been going back and forth on this, and I'm feeling incredibly uncomfortable with his expectation. I feel like the benefits are my son's and should not be used to reduce the adult's portion of the bills. It feels like he's trying to make me subsidize the household using money that was meant for my son's care and future, not to pay for his own share of the bills. Am I wrong here? Is it selfish to keep my son's check separate and manage it for his benefit alone? Or is my boyfriend's financial expectation a red flag for our future together? A commenter who was downvoted says he doesn't need $550 a month. He should have a job for spending money. Go see a lawyer about options with this house. Get a cohab agreement. What if he says I'm not paying mortgage, share or utilities, etc.? You can't kick out. Don't give your boyfriend any money as it's your son's. Opie says he does have a job, but he has a car, so that money goes for gas and upkeep, and because he's in school. He doesn't work a lot, only like 2 days a week. Commenter says, is he 15 or almost 17? Because I'm reading both ages in the post. For what it's worth, the son will start receiving benefits at age 18, or when he graduates high school, whichever is later, so they shouldn't be budgeting anything short term like that into a budget. That being said, the money is the son's, and he should not be paying a portion of someone else's mortgage as a minor. And then says he's almost 17, sorry retyping too fast, and he works well. He has a car, but he also works 2 days a week, so he pays for his car and fast food and stuff like that, and he also saves. He has his own savings outside of the savings that I have for him. Commenter says, I think everyone has given you some great advice, but just want to reiterate that he will only receive survivor's benefits until he's 18 or out of school. So really short term to be using anything like that for budgeting. Good luck. Please advocate for your son. My son receives survivor benefits as well, and I'd never consider pulling money that wasn't directly for his care. Opie says yes. This is the way I feel about it, so I don't include it in my budget at all. But I do understand that giving him all of the money is not a great idea once he became a teenager. I slowly increased his budget now. He has a car and he's paying for maintenance of the gas, and he works part-time as well. He also saves his money separately from the savings that I'm saving for him and save. Commenter says to OP, also if OP should pay a portion, the boyfriend should pay a portion, and OP's son should pay a portion. What about the 3 kids from the boyfriend? If we're going by his logic and the kid should be putting into the fund, why are his kids not contributing, especially the one that will be with them full time? Opie says this is the argument that I have, but he's saying that I'm wrong for this. I'm totally willing to cut off the relationship behind us. I just want your guys' opinion, so I show him that I'm not wrong. Another commenter says, what's his kids paying to live there? I'm not trying to be mean at all, but do you care about your kid? If so, you wouldn't let this on again, off again man steal from him. Opie says he said that his kids shouldn't have to pay because they don't get a check from the government. Opie then responds to many people telling Opie to break up with him and says, right, and I'm totally willing to cut the relationship off about this, and after reading all of the comments, I'm probably just going to go ahead and end it, even if he backs on his statements after seeing this. Someone says on the back of that, just curious, are these social security survivors benefits? If so, does your boyfriend realize that these benefits end when your son turns 18? How does he propose to fill the financial gap once that happens? Opie says yes, they are, and I said that to him as well. Commenter says, I'm proud of you, honey. You totally got this. Just imagine how much more calm life will be when it's just the 2 of you. Opie responds saying thank you. Luckily, we don't live together now, and honestly, I'm happy. This conversation came up today. It's making me rethink everything. I'm going to give him back the ring and call everything off. Everyone just reinforced what my gut told me. I'm not crazy, and it's wrong before I made this post. I was really feeling like it wasn't going to work, and this would be my hill to die on. But all of these comments really opened my eyes. I've got to work on my people-pleasing tendencies and start trusting my gut. Opie also replies to another comment that was downvoted but says, me and his dad weren't married. We were engaged and he got in this accident. That's why I don't get benefits directly. Honestly, I make a decent income. I don't need the money, and I always look at it like it's not my money. That's his money. I grew up with a cousin who got a social security check because their mum was disabled and they never got any of the money. And I saw how they felt as they got older, so when everything happened, I said I would never do that to my son once he got into 8th grade. I gradually started giving him more and more of the money for his pocket so he could start practicing budgeting. When he turned 16, he got a 2023 car because his father died in an accident and there was a settlement. He has money put up for college and he should have some left after too. He works part-time and saves money on his own outside of the money that I've saved for him in his college fund. He's a pretty good kid, always been level-headed and mature. I've been blessed. Also, I don't give him the money all at once. It's about $125 a week. His work check is probably about $200, so he only has about $300 to $400 a week. He saves a lot of it. He has a pretty big chunk saved up on his own again. He's a very responsible kid. He paid for his car maintenance, fast food dates with his girlfriend, or hanging out with friends, or any expensive clothes or shoes items that he will like outside of what I purchased for him. Ugh, this guy, man. I just couldn't get over the fact that all he saw is this minor kid who lost his parent at a young age, and all he saw was money signs. And it sounds like the kid is already super responsible with money, has a job, saves, and he's doing everything right. And meanwhile, you got this guy who sees a teenager's survivor benefits and thinks, great, I have to pay less. Another cheeky bastard, right? It sounds like OP's going to be kicking this one to the curb, but let's find out in the update. It says, following my original post, I ended the relationship with my ex over the weekend. The breakup escalated into a heated argument, with him repeatedly calling and threatening to go to my mother's and grandmother's homes to cause a scene. I had to call his mother to calm him down. This was the final straw for me. In the argument, I also discovered he is not paying child support for his minor child. Combined with his abusive and manipulative behavior, our engagement and plans to buy a house are off. For those who commented about the $500, my son is a very responsible young man whose college is already paid for. He has a car and a part-time job and saves a significant portion of his spending money. The issue was never about the amount, but about my ex's manipulation regarding our finances to gain control. I'm now focused on my and my family's safety. I've blocked all contact and I'm documenting all threats in case legal action is needed. Thank you for your support. I'm choosing my well-being and finally a sense of relief and strength. I bet you could imagine the shock on my face to discover that he's not paying child support for his minor child after trying to use another minor's survivor benefits for his own use. Absolute shocked I was. Bloody hell. What a Burke. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's have another story. Now our next story comes from Motorlog8688 from the Am I the Arsehole, Would I Be the Arsehole public subreddit and says, would I be the arsehole if I don't give back the $40,000 my heavily Christian aunt gave to me, since she won't be needing it when the rapture comes? So this was originally posted on September 22nd, 2025, and it started off saying, for those of you who are unaware, there's a faction of Christians out there who believe that the rapture is going to happen on Tuesday. My aunt is one of those people, and she's been going around telling everybody how people will float into the sky and whatnot. I'm queer and agnostic, and while I was raised loosely Christian, I haven't identified with a religion since I was in 5th grade. Most of my family on my mother's side, except for my aunt, are Christian, but not particularly devout, and certainly not as much as her, nor do they believe in the rapture. She apparently became very, very involved in the religion at some point in college. Basically, my entire life, I've been ridiculed by my aunt for being queer. Since I came out at a young age, most of my family was very kind, accepting and understanding, except for her. I spent every family gathering getting basically cornered, bullied, harassed, called slurs, and preached at by a grown woman for my sexuality. It got to the point that my mother had to have several sit-down conversations with her to essentially tell her to quit harassing me. This endured for a long time, and while my parents would always tell her to knock it off, she never would. But one day my mother seriously put her foot down against her. She made it clear that my family accepted me, and if she wouldn't tone it down, she would no longer be welcome in our home or around me. During this conversation, my aunt allegedly called my family bad Christians for not sending me to conversion therapy, and that they would regret not making me repent once the rapture was upon us. But that was a few years ago. Ever since then, I mostly just get sideways glances from her at family events, and the occasional Bible verse text from her, which I can manage. I am now an adult, 19 and in college, and I was recently contacted by my aunt to meet up with her for lunch. I assumed that maybe she had a change of heart and wanted to apologize for how she treated me. This was not the case. When we met up, she essentially went on a long-winded spiel about how she pities me and feels so sorry that I never repented, and how I and the rest of the family will be left behind because we never fully gave our lives to Christ. At the end of her monologue, she pulled out a stack of cash, all in $100 bills, and handed it to me, telling me that she wanted to give away her savings to those less fortunate, since she'd be needing it when the rapture comes and delivers her to the Lord. I tried to talk her out of it, but she insisted and practically forced the money into my hands before abruptly walking away. I counted it when I got home, and it was slightly over $40,000 in cash. Here's where I think I would be the arsehole. When the rapture inevitably doesn't happen, I have no plans of giving the money back to her. I know she's been going through some kind of long, enduring religious psychosis, but I could honestly really use this type of cash to put me through college and handle other expenses, and she gave it to me willingly. Would I be the arsehole if I didn't give her back the money when the rapture doesn't happen? Edits, my parents are now aware of this because she apparently decided to try and gift my younger sister a car, a relatively new, nice Ford Bronco. I told my parents about the money, and my mother, who is also Christian, told me that it would be the most ethical thing to do if I gave it back to her, and I needed to be empathetic to the struggles she's clearly going through. My dad, however, thinks that if she was stupid enough to give away her life savings on a whim, the money is better off going towards my education anyways. I'm still torn. In the same day, OP updated with an edit and clarifying and says, 1. I'm a bisexual woman. A few people here thought I was a man. 2. I have no idea why she would want to give it to me. Of all people, the money. I'm just as confused as the rest of you. From what I grasped, it seems as though it was some final act of kindness towards somebody she takes great pity on. I don't know. As a few of you said, I should probably leave some kind of trail to prove this was freely given and I didn't steal it from her, so there's no legal repercussions. Should I choose to keep it, I'm still not sold on any course of action yet, especially because it's not Wednesday yet. So I sent her an email thanking her for the gift and reiterating that I did not originally want it, but it was just also very gracious of her to give money to a poor sinner like me. I don't want to take advantage of the mentally ill, but the selfish part of me sees this as reparations for all the torment I endured when I was younger. I've heard a few people say to invest the money instead of immediately putting it towards college, and if I keep it, that will definitely be considered. I don't expect to update again until the rapture has passed, but I will update once that rolls around. Mini edit, doing my own research on the current rapture craze going on. They think the rapture will happen either Tuesday 23rd or Wednesday 24th, so I will update on Thursday. So it was 3 days later, that Thursday, that OP posted again. Said, hi all, it's Thursday, so as promised, here's the update everyone wanted, and I will make it brief. 1. No, my aunt did not get raptured. 2. No, I will not be keeping the money, which I know will upset some of you. 3. No, my sister did not get to keep the car, as I know some people were wondering. Essentially, as a lot of you predicted, once the rapture didn't happen, my aunt kept moving the goalpost. It went from happening on Tuesday to happening Wednesday, because it's still Tuesday for some parts of the world, to happening sometime this month. I decided not to keep the money, as it's not for any of the reasons I initially thought it would be. Trying to give me money and giving my sister a car were not the only things that she did, because she thought the rapture was coming. She quit her job as well, and I found out just this morning she also allegedly confessed to her husband that she was having an affair with a co-worker / fellow churchgoer. She works in admin for a mega church in our area. I think the reason she was doing all of this was to get right with God before the rapture. Buy her way into heaven and have no secrets laying on her chest. I don't know, I can't pretend to understand the logic of somebody that's a rapture believer. And since you know the rapture did not happen, her husband wants to file for a divorce. I'm not particularly worried about her job. Working for the church and all, I'm pretty convinced they will take her back without a fuss because of how enshrined she was in the community. But 1, I read a lot of your comments, and I don't want to prove her right about how wicked queer people and agnostics / atheists are by keeping it. And 2, she will definitely need it for her upcoming legal fees. I'm unsure if this is her entire life savings, but regardless, after letting my emotions cool a bit, I know I wouldn't feel right to keep it. Regardless, my mum approved of my decision. My dad was a bit disappointed, but mostly because he was excited to potentially not have to spend any more money on me for college. Oh, and she has not explicitly asked for it back yet. I imagine it's because everything that's gone on has her feeling defeated or just generally in a low place. But even if she doesn't, I plan on giving it back to her when I can. I'm a full-time student with a part-time job. I don't have a lot of free time, but I'll find a way to get it to her. Yeah, sorry, this isn't the update I know a lot of people wanted. If anyone says they want to hear about the conversation when I give her the money, I'll make that update, but if not, this will likely be the last time I update this post. Thank you everybody for your advice. I think the majority of the comments below this one said OP's doing the right thing in this situation, not tying herself to the aunt in any way, that she does sound mentally unwell. Other people were saying to OP, just keep the money till she comes to you and actually has to ask for it. But it sounds like this aunt has absolutely torched her whole life over this, but holy moly, what do you guys make of this situation? What would you have done if you was OP in it? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for being involved in today's stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and much love.